Hello, good morning. My name is Elisabeth Angelica with name 22240900152. Now I want to discuss about the unreal world. The unreal world. Dr. Ali Azayeri, Associate Professor of Clinical Psychology at the Chicago School of Professional Psychology, Los Angeles campus, believes there are clear and present dangers that must be addressed. I definitely believe that social media has had a significant impact on our life. The world we see on Facebook and another social media platform is not the real world. It's a human creation. Jazayeri explained, among the other dangers that Facebook may pose in our life, such as a lack of privacy, is the habit of constantly comparing ourselves to others. When people are happy, they tend to post a lot of happy things. When I'm unhappy, however, I will consciously or unconsciously compare myself to others. As a result, I create a world that isn't real because I imagine that everyone in the world is happy except for me. While its social media site has its own personality and purpose, the widely popular Facebook and its estimate 1 billion active monthly users has gained the most attention from psychologists for the potential to distort an individual's sense of health, of self, and sense of other people. From a psychological standpoint, what worries Zayeri the most of the risk of slipping too far into a virtual world and losing touch with real life, real self, and real priorities. A 2011 clinical report on the impact of social media on children, adolescents, and families, published in Pediatrics, the official journal of the American Academy of Pediatry, was one of the first to raise the issue of Facebook depression among young people worried that they weren't accumulating enough friends or likes to their status update. Around the same time, Dr. Cecilia Anderson and her colleagues at the University of Bergen in Norway published a piece about their work with the Berger Facebook edition Scaled Journey Psychological Reports. And this all came on the heels of somewhat controversial news that the American Psychiatry Association was considering the addition of internet addiction in appendix to the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorder, slated for release later this year. What concerns Zayeri most, from a psychologist's perspective, is the danger of slipping too far a virtual world and losing a sense of real life, real self, and real priorities. Consciousness and college. Dr. Elisabeth an assistant professor in the Department of School Psychology at TCSPP Chicago campus, has been fascinated with the concept of virtual worlds and social media since the early chat rooms. Sometimes I like to talk about a lot in psychotherapy are the various dimensions of consciousness. He says it can get really psychoanalytical if you were going to look at what kind of behavior people are putting out there. I have been studying Jungian analysis and I do find it interesting, especially when you look at personality types. As any Facebook user is aware, there are types among almost everyone's friends. I don't want to psychopathology everybody who's online, but I think it's possible to take a quasi-diagnostic look at it when you examine what people write or how they interact online. Of all the social media sites, Facebook is a place where he says almost every personality type can be found and analyzed. This is the best modern example if come across of what I've been calling the collective unconscious personified. How do we choose to present ourselves to this world? In addition, at what point do we stop? Number 3, the professional fiber. John Wolfler, Richard, and MA in Psychology at TCSPP Chicago campus and in 2009, and for several years made his business teaching other professionals how to use social media to advance their careers. The years have passed since he published his book Graduate to LinkedIn, Jumpstart Your Career Support Network Now. And he says the social media of today is really vastly different. However, in the virtual world, where anyone exaggerates and reality is always slightly distorted, the attention to lie or street the truth is stronger than ever. It's one thing to post your prettiest vacation photo on Facebook or to exaggerate how wonderful your life is. But when it comes to LinkedIn and another professional use of social media, truth and ethics are just important online as they are on print resume. Number 4, love in the time of social media. In all the incarnation and manifestations of social media in our life, one aspect that I can be ignored, particularly when it's come to how we present our life and perceive others, is how the illusion on must be perfect virtual world has changed our most intimate relationships. Whether you are single to 20-something looking for a Mr. or Mrs. Right, or a newly divorced parent dipping your toes back into the dating scenes, online sites such as Match.com or Okcupid.com and eHarmony.com have revolutionized the idea of how we meet and connect with the people. The fairy tale endings are legendary, as are the tales love, loss, and heartbreak. But as often overlooked is how the surreal world of social media affect people who are already in domestic partnership, marriage, and other long-term partnership. Dr. Melody Bacon, a licensed clinical therapist, assistant Dean of Academic Affairs and chairs of the Marital and Family Therapy Program at TCSPP LA Campus, say social media and the distraction of technology cause problems for couples because they provide another way to disconnect. Number 5, the last one, to disconnect or not disconnect. The disconnect that Becker refers to is at the very heart of what circle is churning in together alone. As with instant message, email, text, and Twitter, technology withdraws the boundaries between intimacy and solitude. She's right. We walk to getting rid of our emails. At those death notes are so much exchange baggage. Teenagers avoid making telephone calls, fearfully that they reveal too much. They would rather text than talk. Adults too choose keyboard over the human voice. The irony of it all is that we can see happening to our kids, our friends, even ourselves. We know it's a problem, but we don't know how to stop it. As Jazair points out, social media is here to stay and is a new reality we must deal with. The question is, how do we find balance? As Dr. Tom Barrett, Department Chair and Associate Professor in the Clinical Psychology Department at TCSPP, Chicago campus, shares many of the same concerns as his college about people losing themselves in this new virtual world. But he also believes that the motivation for connecting online is the same as it's always been, a human urge to belong and to be accepted. As Jazayeri says, social media is here to stay and is real we have to concern with. This question is, how do we balance?